Okay, good morning, everybody. We are talking about Chapter 8, okay? Chapter 8 will be our last chapter. And I guess probably now is a good point also to talk about how our class ends. So we have a Chapter 9 quiz. I think I told you it was available till last Wednesday, but it actually is available today, right? At midnight. So if you didn't take it, please do so. Our final exam will not be cumulative in this class. So our final exam, which I can't remember when it is, but you guys probably know, it's in the syllabus, is, let's see. Wednesday, December 9th at 8 a.m. Okay, so it'll be like any other exam. It will be on chapters 7, 8, and 9. We only did a little bit of chapter 7. Okay, we did a lot in chapter 9. That was business intelligence. We're going to do a lot in chapter 8. So that is kind of our remaining assessments in this class. So let's talk a little bit about social media, okay? And a couple things that we mentioned earlier is social media is the use of IT to share content, right? And when we talk about the data component of social media, there's content, but there's also connection data. And we talked about how businesses can use it. There's really three roles involved here. We talked about the user community. We talked about the social media sponsor. That would be the organization you might be working for that puts up a Facebook page or runs a Twitter account or maybe a Snapchat account, something to that effect. And then we have the application providers themselves, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Vine, Instagram, all those good things, okay? So a couple things that we learned. It is a natural thing for people to form communities, tribes, hives, whatever you call them. Well, the beautiful thing is those have always been kind of geographically centered, right? We went to the same high school, or we went to this, but now because of the internet, because of social media, online social media, this can go viral quite quickly, right? You can be part of community A, and also, be friends with someone else's community A, but they're in community C, so things can go through there very quickly. Just as an aside, we talked about, viral. What does viral mean? What does viral mean? We talked about things going viral. What is things going viral? Give me an example of something going viral. Okay. So organizations try to put in what they call a viral hook, right? What's a viral hook? It's something that allows it to go viral. And this is kind of crazy. You guys know Mr. Tonkin? Mr. Tonkin, he teaches in the business department. His wife recently recorded a video, I think it was last week. Do you know how many hits did it got? Do you know?
It was like 75,000, like 2 days or something like that.
I think it's over 2 million hits.
At this point, wow.
To me,
when you showed it to us, I think it was.
Did you guys see it?
Yeah. It was,
Let me see if I can find it. I'm friends with Kent on
but at
Facebook.
that time, it was like 75,000. So
Let's see.
that was funny.
Kent's wife is Melissa. Yeah, 3.6 million views. The gist of this is there is she stumbled upon two dogs in a parking lot.
Apparently he wants his papa to get out of the store.
That dog in the driver's seat is honking the horn. So you can't hear that right now. But he looks over a couple times. I don't know if he looked over yet. You guys see that? He has a nice scarf on. But this just happened last Wednesday. She put it on her Facebook page, and now it looks like 3.6 million views at this point. So in less than a week, something she recorded on her smartphone. That's crazy. That's the viral nature of those things. Think about, she probably never thought anything in her life that she created. I mean, nothing against Miss Tonkin. She's a talented woman. But think about 3.6 million views in a week of something that she created. these dogs are stars. So that's pretty quick to get 3.6 million views. So I think she'll probably get on some popular media because of that. So anyways, okay, we talked about these things called viral hooks. And what I want to focus on today, we talked about crowdsourcing and Enterprise 2.0, and we talked about slates, like the things using social media inside. Two things I want to talk about today. Okay, first, what is capital? Okay, what is capital? It's kind of up there, but what is capital? You ever hear like universities running a capital campaign? They're asking for money. What does capital mean? I've heard the term capital before. That's not like a capital letter. What is capital? Capital is a large investment, usually in like a building or infrastructure, that we think will pay future dividends for us. Okay? For example, if we build a new factory, that's a capital investment. We build a new dorm at St. Francis University, that's a capital investment. Okay? Produce goods that serve factories, machines, that's capital, right? So what is human capital? Human capital is an investment in learning, investment in education, that we hope will pay future dividends later in life. And right now, you guys, over these 4 years, are investing in human capital, right? You are not earning money as much as you could make if you weren't in university, and you're paying money to be here. So you are investing in human capital. You are the person that we are investing in, right? The whole United States, your parents, whatever, are investing in you, okay? Now, we talk about social capital. Social capital was a little bit different. Social capital is an investment in relationships that we hope have return later on. Okay, so what do you think we mean by social capital? What do you think we mean by social capital? Or another word for social capital. What do you think that is? Have you invested at all in a social capital? No. None? Mark? Impression?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You invested in a social capital? Have you ever gone to an event? Maybe you really didn't want to go, but you said, hey, there might be someone there that can help me, or I know. What are we talking about with social capital? Well, very good. That would be the term that you hear most common as networking, right? Building my social network in hopes that someday maybe this person will be able to help me out, right? Maybe find me a job. Maybe we'll go into business together. Something to that effect. And I use this when I talk to students a lot. They say, well, where can I find an internship? Where can I find a job? I graduated from St. Francis College back in 1992. I had a 4.0 in math, computer science. Okay, I was involved in a lot of things. I thought I had a good resume. Job market was extremely tough. The only reason I got my first job was because my dad bowled with a guy who got me an interview, right? And I got hired from that interview. So that's crazy, isn't it? So social capital, just because my dad happened to bowl with this guy, I got an interview that got me a job that, put me on, the progression I was on. Okay, even when you guys missed the pirate guys, I guess they didn't come to see you, but the guy that came, the statistician guy that talked about the Pirates, he said, the reason he got into these sports analytics is he happened to be playing flag football with who was the player? Big Baby or something like that. And Jeff Van Gundy happened to see him, and Jeff Van Gundy, made a relationship with him, made a couple calls on his behalf. So social relationships is expected, investing in relationships with the expectation of marketplace returns. So if we think about it, what value does social capital have? What value does social capital have? And you can break those things down into maybe 4 major things, okay? First off, it can we can get information. Because we happen to be connected to this person, they might be able to say, I know this is going to happen in my organization, maybe you should apply for this position. Or I happen to know that the market is headed this way, so I would get out of that investment, right? One thing about social capital is it can provide us information that isn't publicly available, right? Inside information. And you can't really trade on that in the stock market. That's called insider information. It's illegal. But information that you wouldn't normally have is one of them. The second thing is influence, okay? The second thing is influence. Perhaps because this person is my uncle, this person is my friend. Maybe I get special kind of influence. Maybe I can direct something the way I want it to go. Okay, so that's another benefit of establishing social capital. The other thing is social credentials. So, you know, there are people that just being connected to, you know, have you ever heard the term name dropping, right? You know, and I don't like name dropping, but you hear it a lot of times. Name dropping is, you know, I get some value just from knowing this person, being friends with this person, or having a relationship with this person. You know, I happen to be connected to them somehow, and that adds to my profile just because I'm connected to someone. And personal reinforcement of a professional image or status. If I happen to be friends with maybe the utmost expert on search engine optimization, well, maybe that adds some value to my credentials as an expert in search engine optimization. So this changed, right? This kind of changed because social media allowed us to expand that network. Give me some ways, and maybe the most popular tool to increase your social network. What's something we can do? Let's give you a social media application that is really all about social capital in the business world. LinkedIn, right? That is, it's not meant to share dog videos, right? It's not meant to talk about where you're going tonight. It's not meant to share pictures. It's meant to say, here is my network relationship in the business world, right? And here are people that recommend me. Here's people that here are my credentials. But I also happen to be connected to this place, and it has a lot of tools for that. It says, you know, would you like to be introduced to this person? This person is an expert, or they're a hiring manager for this company. Would you like to be introduced to them? Here are people that you know that may know that person. LinkedIn is all about navigating that social media, right? And we look at that social media capital, and we look at social capital. The value of that isn't just the number of relationships. We all know people that maybe have 1,200 Facebook friends, but legitimately, can you really have a good contact with 1,200 people? No, there's something known as Dunbar's number that says, you can really have a strong relationship with about 150 people. Okay, Dunbar was an early researcher who found that tribes, like early tribes, once they got to about 150, they'd split off. You know what I mean? Like that was like the number, the magic number. They called it Dunbar's number. So, you may have 500 friends, but some of those are really just acquaintances. They're not friends. So really, there's two things that control your social capital: the number of relationships, but the strength of those relationships, and also the resources that those relationships control. Okay, so if I'm very good friends with Warren Buffett, he's only one person, right? But if I'm very good friends with him, and he also controls a lot of resources, that's really better than being 1,000 friends with just random people from St. Francis, right? So when we look at social capital, we have to measure those things. A site that kind of tries to measure people's social capital by looking at how many followers they have, how many people retweet their stuff or share their stuff. You guys ever hear of the website Clout? You guys ever hear of Clout with a K? No? It used to be hot probably about 2 years ago is when it kind of peaked. Clout measures your influence. Okay, so it looks at your number of Facebook followers, how many people view your stuff, how many people share your stuff. Anyways, you get a Clout score. This is mine. This is for me. That's 49. That's my 16-year-old son. His birthday was recently, so that's why he's my profile pic. But if we look at that, 60 is usually they used to have in the Silicon Valley a few years ago, they used to have parties where you couldn't get in unless you showed them your Clout score, and your Clout score had to be 60 or above. That's like rarefied air. But if we look at it, let's see, if I measure, and this is my Clout score over 90 days, and it looks at my network contribution. I don't use Facebook very much anymore, but we see Facebook 34%, 20%, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google+, I don't use it all. I can't remember what that green one is. What is that? It doesn't say. But it shows the things that were most commonly shared, how you can increase your cloud score. So if you do this for yourself, you'll see what your cloud score is, and it's kind of a measure of your social capital. Like, are you an influencer or a follower or a leader? So social media has definitely changed the way we utilize social capital. Let's move on. I'm going to skip over the hyper-organization stuff. I really don't like that stuff. And I want to talk about something called Web 2.0. Okay, and Web 2.0 is now kind of an old term, but it was meant to say, like, the first kinds of websites tried to emulate what we did in the physical world in the online world. Like a shopping experience. You put things in a shopping cart, you check out, you buy. Right? That was the first version of the web. Web 2.0 was meant to say, well, you know what? Now that we have online nature, we're not physically constrained. There are things we can add to it. Web 2.0 was coined by a man named Tim O'Reilly, and he has a media company. And the reason I mention that is a student of ours from a few years ago, Sean O'Reilly. Does anyone remember Sean? He was a soccer player. You know Sean? No. Anyways, that was Tim O'Reilly's nephew. He was an MIS major here. And I tried to get Tim to come in, but he never did come in. Okay, but he coined that phrase a few years ago. And it's really about the next version of the web. Now, some things that characterize Web 2.0 is something called PPC. You guys know what pay-per-click revenue model. So if we look at it, do you guys utilize Google every day? I think you probably do, right? The answer to that is probably yes. Do you pay Google any money? No, you don't, okay? Does Google make money? It does, okay? And how does it make money? Well, if we look at their latest, let's see, I think I have it out here, their latest quarterly revenue predictions, or what they came up with, in the 3 months ended September 30th, 2015, their last quarter, they made, their revenue was $18.7 billion. In 3 months, they made $18.7 billion, right? Not million, $1 billion. And that's 1 3-month period in September in 2015. How's that possible? You guys did not give them any money. I give them $2 a month for, I think I have extra storage. Google, I have extra storage in the cloud. So I give them $2 a month. So I get $24. That went into there. Yes. Okay, so what they do is they make money, the bulk of their money. There's a lot of ways they make money, but the bulk of their money is through one thing, okay? It is through pay-per-click advertising, okay? So if we go to google.com and we search for, let's say, MBA programs, okay? So I'm interested in going for, well, that didn't give me what I was looking for. Let's go to google.com, maybe because I did in the search bar, MBA programs. Why is that not doing this? I'm not getting any ads, and I have no clue why. All right, would you guys search for anything? And you'll notice, let me go to Bing. Maybe I'll see ads for Bing. going to have to just look at an image, I guess. Okay, so I have no clue why I'm not getting search results when I Google something. You guys get ads? No one's getting ads. I shouldn't block it because it's not blocking. It's not pop-ups. I'm talking about results, like it's part of the web page you get back. I shouldn't be able to block this. So, anyways, if we look, okay, so this is an example search, Google search. So this person is living in Tampa Bay, obviously, and they search Tampa air conditioning. And when you typically do a Google search, right, a couple things. The first few on the top, okay, and the ones on the side are Google ads. And it's clearly, it's denoted, but not very clearly. You see ads, and sometimes it's a little grayed out, but you can barely see the difference. You guys know what I'm talking about? You guys seen these? Okay, so then below those are what we call organic results. Now, how did those people get there? Well, those people got there by participating in a program called Google Ads. Okay, so what that means is, as a company, I am Tampa Air Conditioner, REMairconditioning.com. That's my company. I said, I want to be associated with the keyword air conditioning. So I registered as part of the Google AdWords program, and I said, if you show my ad and someone clicks on it, I will pay you a sum of money. What do you think the charge is for something like that? So if I clicked on that ad, which I'm not sure why I'm not seeing ads, but if I click on a ad, this company is going to get charged for that click. What do you think they charge them for something like that? Any ideas? No, they don't charge. They charge based on a click, right? So as soon as you click, if you click off in an instant, so what? The person gets charged. If you stay there all day, maybe buy something, doesn't matter. The person gets charged. Any ideas? So how do you decide what clicks are more valuable? Well, let's leave that for a second then. Let's go to the site itself, okay? I'm going to go to AdWords, and you guys probably don't have this because you don't have an AdWords account, but I'm going to go to AdWords and sign in. I'm going to show you how we create a Google campaign, okay? Let's say I want to create a campaign. And a couple things that I want you to know. We can say where we want to show our ad. So there's shopping, Google Shopping, you guys have seen that. Google Video Ads, obviously Google owns YouTube, you guys know that. You've seen Google ads or ads on YouTube. Let's focus on the top. Search network with display, search network only, display network only. What do you think the search network is? That one makes sense. That is when you Google something, when you search something, it's these ads here. Okay, that's the search network. And also, when you're in Gmail, the ads that come up on the side in Gmail. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Those are search network ads. What do you think display network is? What do you think display network is? Google has a program where, let's say I have a very popular site on, I'm an expert on cell phones. Well, maybe my site is called micocellphones.com. Well, I can say, here's a blog that I created on cell phones, but I'm going to reserve some space over here for ads, and Google is going to display ads here, and then when someone clicks on them, Google will give me, maybe Google charges them $5, they give me a kickback of $1, right? Because they selected it from my website, okay? So let me show you what goes into designing a campaign. So I'm going to say search network only.
Okay, and let's just call this, I don't know, SFU. Let's say we're going to advertise SFU's MBA program. And I want search network only. Let's see, ads will display. Now, we can do locations. So right now, by default, it's United States and Canada. But let's say I only want Pennsylvania. So I can select Pennsylvania. I could also select, hey, I only want this ad to show within, I don't know, 50 miles of Johnstown or 100 miles of Altoona. Okay, I could do those kind of things. So if I do Pennsylvania, my total reach is roughly 10 million people. I only want the English language. I don't want any other languages. Default bid. Okay, so I'm going to set a budget per day. I'm going to say I'm going to spend up to $100 per day. I can say extend my ads with location information. This puts, like, if I have a physical location, this will add my physical location to the ad. Extend my ads with links to sections of my site. Have you ever seen ads that it has, like, underneath it has, like, various things you can do, like certain sections of the site? That is site links. Extend my ads with a phone number where you click automatically and it calls the store. So I'm going to save and continue. I think that's all I need in that one. And let's just say, I'm going to say SFU MBA program is my ad. Now, the important thing is the keywords. Okay, the keywords is what kind of keywords do we want my ad to be associated with? So this is tough, right? If I'm trying to advertise St. Francis MBA program, what kind of keywords do you think I should use? Give me a phrase. All right, MBA program. What else? What else? Okay, MBA schools. What else do you think? Graduate programs. Good. Okay, now it's kind of tough. You know, we can get a room, and you guys could probably come up with a lot. But we can also, they have a little tool here where we can see keywords. Okay, so keywords like MBA degree. So, you know, online MBA degree programs, we can add that MBA degree. So it has a tool that can show us all kinds of keywords associated with a starting keyword, and we can build that out. Okay, so that means our ad will display whenever we see these types of keywords. So I'm just going to continue, and I'm going to build my ad. Now, what does a Google search ad look like? It looks like these over here. Very simple display ads where we have a heading that is hyperlinked. We have our domain name. And really, we only have 2 lines of text. So I'm going to say SFU MBA program. And I'm going to say www.francis.edu. And I can have and I'm going to say, please visit us to learn about our top-notch MBA program. And you see it is building an ad over here for me. Device preference, I can say no mobile devices. I just want it to be on computers because people probably aren't. So this is what my ad would look like. I click save. I need a URL. So my final URL, there's a URL I can display and then a URL that when they click on it, it goes to. So maybe francis.edu, I could do /MBA. I'm not sure if that's a valid URL. So I'm just going to leave it francis.edu. I click on save. That's what it's going to look like, and I can have multiple ads running. I can review the campaign. It says bid and budget. Let's say I'm going to bid $5 per bid. And looks good. Finish and pause campaign because I don't want to be charged for this. So I know I did that kind of quick and dirty, but that's all it takes. You know, I went through all the steps to create an ad that would run alongside Google search results. Okay. Now, a couple things. When my ad shows, we call that an impression. Typically, we don't get charged for impressions. So someone sees my ad, don't get charged for it. We get charged per click. Now, anyone have any ideas of how they charge per click or how it's priced? Come on, what do you think would be important when we talk about how we charge per click? Any ideas? Think about Google as an engineering company. How would they charge you for a click? Just buck? Just throw $1 on it, right? Like you price stuff at your garage sale? Now, what would they do? How do you think they make sense of it? Because obviously there are keywords that are very lucrative, and there's keywords that are not so lucrative, right? How do you think they price this? Come on, give me an idea, guys. Come on, Sarah.
Based on how often a word is searched.
Okay, so a couple things. Think about it. You know, they want to look at the market that's out there, yes? Okay. How do you think, so the demand for that keyword, yes? And what do you mean by demand? So I'm out there putting out ads for MBA programs. Who else is putting out ads for MBA programs? Other schools, right? So if that is a lucrative keyword, a lot of people bidding on it, it's kind of a bid thing, right? And you even saw the bid price, right? So when Google puts ads up, what ads do you think they put up first? Yeah, if I'm willing to pay $7.50 per click and JJ is only willing to pay $5 per click, let's show John Miko's ad first, right? Because that's more likely to get, $7.50 to Google is better than $5.50 to Google, yes? The only thing is, what if John Miko has a crappy ad, he's willing to pay $7.50, but no one's clicking on it? So do you think Google's going to continue to put that number one? No, because they don't make money unless people click on it. So they look at two things, the competitiveness of the keywords, what people are willing to bid, right? But also, how good your ad is. If people aren't clicking on it, they don't make money. And if we look at a keyword planner tool, let's look at some keywords. This is Google's keyword planner tool. It's going to take a moment to load. Okay, so let's say MBA program. And that's all I'm going to say. And then let's say get ideas. So this is globally. But if I look at keyword ideas, and we saw some of these, looks like the suggested bid, which is crazy, right? $26.04 is what it's suggesting I bid if I want to get traffic. So think about that. If you go into Google right now, and I don't know why the hell we're not getting ads today. That's just blowing my mind. You guys aren't getting ads either in Google? Just blowing my mind. But anyways, if you go out and Google MBA program and click, you just cost someone $25. Seriously, right? The one I like to look at is, and not that it's a good thing, but you guys ever hear of mesothelioma? Ever hear of that? What is it? Do you know what it is? All right, let's just look at some ideas for. Did I spell it wrong? I think it's meso, maybe. Mesothelioma, good ideas. No. Yeah.
If you go to the private Google window and search, it'll give you ads.
What do you mean private?
If you go into incognito mode, like Control Shift, it'll give you.
If I'm in incognito,
It'll give you ads.
okay. All right. I don't know why that is.
It's location.
Okay, mesothelioma lawyers, they're suggesting I bid $163.34 for one click. Why is that? It's a highly competitive, like a lot of people are bidding big bucks for that keyword. Why would they bid a lot of big bucks for that keyword?
probably people who click on the link are probably likely to contact that later. Like it's
Well, yes, it's very mesothelioma. Very good. Thanks, JJ. So I just typed in mesothelioma lawyer, right? Here are the ads for this. This is an ad, this is an ad, this is an ad. All these are ads. If I click on this, and I'm going to, what the hell? I just got Smith, Hanley's, and Conroy. Just cost them $165, right? And I'm not interested in their services, right? So if you want to stick at the lawyers, just do that, right? So they just got charged $165. So that's kind of crazy, but they're willing to bid that, knowing that, hey, only maybe 1 out of, 50 clicks turns into a client, because mesothelioma is like a specialized type of cancer that is caused by asbestos by exposure to asbestos. So, if you have that type of cancer, they can get a big settlement for you and get some big bucks. So they're willing to spend a lot of money for those keywords. You saw how competitive it was, right? If I go back to incognito mode, which I don't know why we're not showing ads, but anyways, MBA programs. This is Southern New Hampshire University, Penn State. Might as well charge Penn State. So that's just like $6 out of their pocket, okay? So what they do is they prioritize ads based on the amount of money people are willing to bid for them, but also how likely people are to click them. So if you have an ad and you're willing to pay a lot of money, but no one's clicking through, well, Google's going to deprioritize that thing. Okay, so they just made $170 just from me screwing around in 2 minutes. So think about all that volume. Now we talk about pay-per-click campaigns. A couple terms that I think are important. Impressions are the amount of times our ad is shown. So if I go back to these results, this is an impression, right? All these are impressions. All these on the sides, that's an impression. So we only get money if we are Google if someone clicks on the ad. So there is something called an impression, then the next step is a click, and from those two we can figure out something called a click-through rate. So clicks divided by impressions. So if you think about it, if I showed your ad 100 times and 10 people clicked on it, the click-through rate is like 10%. Now that's pretty high actually. Usually click-through rates are in the 1 to 2% range if we're lucky, right? That people actually enact on that. Because think about how our mind works. When you look at Google search results, you kind of almost block that out in your mind. Hey, that top stuff is ads. Sometimes you click on them. Gmail, the same thing. On the side, you kind of block those out. So click-through rate is very important, okay? Now, what we're really hoping you do, if we're an advertiser, is we're hoping you click. Well, what are we really hoping you do? Take action, right? When you take action, so impressions, we're hoping leads to clicks. And then when you're on our site, we hope for what we call a conversion. And I like the way Alina said that. She said, take action. Because a conversion is like you've done what we want you to do, right? If we are a retail site, a conversion is you bought something, yes? If we are an online MBA program, what is conversion in our case? Yeah, that you applied anyways, or you asked for more information, yes? Or you clicked on something, right? You filled out a form. You've done some kind of action. So here's what's great about this, okay? Here's what's great about this form of advertising. Well, a lot of things are great about this form of advertising. You saw that I can do a couple things. I can say, I only want people to see my ad that put in this keyword or these keyword phrases. So what do you know about that person? They're thinking about your product or service, right? If you put up a billboard, you don't know what the hell people are thinking about as they go through it, right? If you put an ad in the paper, you don't know what people are thinking. If you put up a commercial on TV, you don't know what people are thinking. You know these people are actively entered this phrase into Google, right? That's in their mind right now. That is valuable, yes? That is valuable information. So that is one thing. That's one thing nice about this form of advertising. What else is nice about this form of advertising? It's active, right? That's the first thing I said. But what else is nice about this form of advertising? Nothing else? It's no good, Dr. Miko? What else, Sarah?
I think it helps save a little money on advertising because usually people that click on it, I mean, other than what you were doing, aren't clicking on it just to waste their time.
Okay, so we feel like, you know what? We're only paying for people that are actually interested in our product or service, right? We're not paying for impressions. We're only paying for clicks. Someone actually, so we're only paying if someone, like, we took someone by the hand and brought them to their front door, right? That's the only action we pay for. That's why it's $165 or $65. When you pay for advertising in the paper or a billboard, you just say, hey, we'll throw it up and hope someone sees it, right? And we pay no matter if no one sees it, no one comes to our store, or 1 million people come to our store. We pay the same rate, right? So this is paying for action. That's a good thing. What else about those ads you saw I could do? You know, when I went through that campaign, what were some things I could do? I can change it real fast. Very good, you're right. And what we can do is run multiple campaigns with different flavors, different types of ads. We can see which ones work, which ones don't. You know, get rid of the ones that work. You know, bump up the ones that do work, yes? When I put an ad in a magazine, well, hell, it's out that month. If it didn't work, well, I wait till next month, and then I pay again, yes? So I can do experimentation. Very good. What else? What else was nice about it? Where did I show my ad? When I went through that Google AdWords campaign, where did I show my ad?
You can focus on different locations.
I said, hey, I only want to see people in Pennsylvania that speak English, that are typing in English anyways. Maybe they speak many languages, but are typing in English, right? Not only do I only want to see people in Pennsylvania, but I also want to show this only on the search network, right? Or I want to see it on people on YouTube or whatever it might be, yes? So I can say where I want my ad to show and how. I'm going to control that way as well. So what's the big benefit to this? So think about this process that we go through. Someone sees my ad, they click on my ad, and then we have conversion. We can figure this out. So 100 people saw my ad, 10 people clicked on it, and maybe one of these 10 people bought something. So we can figure out something called a click-through rate, but also a conversion rate. So what can I figure out that I can't figure out in traditional advertising? Or it's difficult to figure out in traditional advertising? Yes, Jay. You're darn right. Think about it. I know I spent, I don't know, maybe $500 for these clicks, right? I know one person bought. If that sale was worth $500 to me or more, I could say, hey, that was a successful campaign. That was a good return on investment, right? A good ROI. But if that one sale was worth $3 to me, and I spent $500 to bring that person to the front door, not a good campaign, not a good return on investment, yes? It's very difficult. In the traditional world, you know, marketers always say, I know that half of my advertising works and half doesn't. I just don't know what half. Just think about it. You put up a billboard, you got customers, but you don't know if they saw your billboard. You don't know if they saw their magazine. They don't know if they saw your TV ad. How do they try to get around that? How do they try to know where you came from? So that they can say, you know, as Jacob said, is it effective advertising? In the traditional world, how do they try to monitor that? So they can say, was this any good?
Sometimes they like survey you and ask you
Where did you hear about us? Yes? Sometimes, if it's a billboard, they might give you an URL like this. Go to www.mico.com/ I don't know, it's a TV ad /TV. Why do they do that? Well, a couple reasons. They want to measure the traffic that came from my TV ad, right? Because people are just searching, are going to mico.com, but the people go mico/TV, they must have saw my TV ad, right? And maybe we can give them a different view, a different landing page as well. So a couple things. I think you guys hit on a lot of these things. You know, impressions are just showing the ads. We get charged by cost per click. Cost per clicks. Hopefully clicks lead to conversions. That's some kind of action. We can calculate out something called a click-through rate and a conversion rate, which leads to our return on investment. This is the future, not the future, it's the current and the future of advertising, okay? Because, you know, that's what we're seeing. That's how things are. And not only is it going to be, you know, not only is it going to be based on what you're typing in, but ads are also now, you know, if you happen to be walking down Bourbon Street searching for something, well, ads are going to be saying, well, this person is located right here. You know, maybe we'll put a coupon for my business, which is right here, right? So think about that. Our marketing has become so specialized, okay, so data driven. It's not just, hey, let's throw out an ad and see what happens, okay? Very, very, very powerful stuff. This all belongs to a form of marketing called SEM, which stands for Search Engine Marketing, okay? Search Engine Marketing. We're going to talk when I come back, or when we come back. I'm running out of time. But we'll talk about this form. This is pay-per-click. But we'll talk about something called SEO as well. You guys ever hear of SEO? Maybe when Terry came in, she probably mentioned SEO efforts, right? SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, which is a way of getting traffic to our site without paying for it, okay? Without paying by click. So anyways, have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Come back refreshed and recharged. 1 week left and finish very, very strong. Have a great Thanksgiving.